Hunter TV said, shout out to the number one small forward all time on the Hoop Talk podcast. Man.
That was a good conversation. That was a really good conversation.
Larry Bird was number
more
one.
Paul George disrespect, but nonetheless.
You ain't put him on the list.
Moss did have
Paul Pierce.
But you ain't put him on the list.
I didn't put Paul Pierce on my list either.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting.
I'm calling out disrespect to players you also didn't put on the list. That just it doesn't work.
Paul George is better than Paul Pierce.
Okay.
So that's why I started disrespect.
Real talk. That might be kind of like saying that 2006 Kobe is worse than 2006
that's not remotely
LeBron.
the same. One is actually better.
Does anybody up here have Paul George over Paul Pierce?
I do.
Show of hands. Chill, you think Paul George is better than Paul Pierce?
Man, me too. I heard that wrong. I'm sorry, I heard that wrong.
Paul. No, Pierce. I got him over. Him. Yeah, I got Paul George. Paul Pierce.
I apologize. My fault. No, I don't.
I don't think that's.
No, I do not. No, I don't.
Is that even close to the debate? I think PG's pretty clear of Paul Pierce when you really think about it. What do you mean?
This is 1 year of Paul George that you guys praise, and ironically, guess who it was with? Which we don't got to get into all of that. I'm just saying it was. He gave you one spectacular year. And the rest of them was a theoretical Paul George that dribbles.
Paul Pierce giving you, Ron?
Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce from 2000 to 2008 gave you scored 20
spectacular years.
He scored 25 plus all of those years, basically. Paul
so
George
basketball
had one,
is just
Paul George,
25 plus?
No, it's not. But once again, let's look at the era that we're playing in. 25 in that era is like 30 in this era. So that's one thing. Second off, Paul George was going band to band, or Paul Pierce was going band to band with everybody. On top of that, Paul George was just like that.
Paul George wasn't going band for band with people?
No. Not going 5 for 21 in playoff games. And
I'm not saying okay, whoa.
I don't remember.
Paul Pierce has bad playoff games as well. And PG was definitely in series going band for band with LeBron. A couple of times, actually.
I'm talking about putting together season after season after season. Paul George wasn't doing that.
I don't know what you're saying. Like you're saying,
but because he wasn't scoring 25.
Yes, yes. In 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes.
Wasn't Paul George clearly a better defender than PG?
You could say that, yeah. You could say.
I mean, I don't think you can say that. Like if somebody, if he was an elite defensive stopper for years, he was a very good offensive player, and he was a really good creator as well for himself, like off the dribble, like into the rack, great shooter. Like I don't think that's a crazy argument. I don't think Paul Pierce was ever like that defensively.
No, he wasn't.
And I think he was a really good offensive player, but
offensively, to me, it's just a gap in the scoring. And that's really the separation for me. It's a gap on the offensive end.
I'll be honest, man. I think 2015. I think 2015. Paul George to what? 20. I'll say 2018, 19. Those 4 years, I think that's better than any 4-year Paul Pierce can show me.
Dion,
just scoring and
so wrong.
And
here's the problem. That's just not true, Dion. And here's why that's not true. You do remember he broke his leg in the summer of 2015. You do remember that, yes? He wasn't the same until 2019.
Listen, from 2015,
he
logged in 81 games. 2016, 75. 2017, 79. 2018, 77.
It wasn't the same.
So that's what I'm talking about. That from 2015 to 2019, he was definitely the same player. I mean, still averaging 20, 28, 23 points, giving you about 4, 5, 7, 7 rebounds, 6 rebounds. The guy was still the same. I mean, he had that injury, but then he came back.
He was better.
He was better. He was better. That's what I'm thinking. Like
by 2018,
he was fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I think having a damn near a compound fracture. I mean, it's not like
that's what it was, Wiper.
Well, it is. I don't think it came through the skin, but it was. Yeah, that's pretty devastating injury. That took 2 years to rebound from. So I think that probably affected his career a lot more than we give it credit for.
Yeah, he came back and he averaged more the season he came back after injury than he did when he got injured. Like when he missed that season, he came back. He was like almost more efficient. He was a little less efficient, but he still gave you more rebounds, a little bit more assists. Like he still was a better player to me when he came back after the injury. And then he does that for like 4 years. So again, that little mark right there, that 2015-16 season to like 2019 Like, it's an argument. I don't think Paul Pierce has that type of resume. And now, scoring-wise, absolutely. But you got to look what Paul George is doing. He's the best defender on his squad, damn near, like on the perimeter. And then on top of that, he's still their leading scorer. And then he's still playmaking at a decent level, too, as well. So, I don't know. I think Paul Pierce I think Paul George is pretty easily over Paul Pierce, in my opinion.
Yeah, my thing is, I just believe one is a legit number one option and the other is a legit number two option. And so that is my thing why I'm taking Paul Pierce over Paul George. If I'm starting a team, I'm clearly starting it with Paul George. I know Paul Pierce is going to end the Paul Pierce, my bad. I'm clearly taking Paul Pierce. I know Paul Pierce is going to end the game. I know he's going to score better throughout the game. No. I know he's just going to be able to. I just know he's going to be able to lead our team.
I think that's the thing. I think Paul George is more of a number one option than Paul Pierce. In my
Paul
opinion.
George averaged over 25 one season.
He does
one season, and you guys, I can't. Because the way you guys talk, real talk,
multiple seasons averaging 23. Here's another
23, 21, 19.
And then when he leaves, okay, after the explosive MVP type season with the 28, he goes to the Clippers and he's the number two option now. Because he played with Kawhi.
Number two option that did nothing. But that did nothing.
That
did nothing.
Easy, brother. Easy,
that did nothing.
Easy.
No, I'm not.
But wait. No, because hold on, bro. Hold on. You can't just not let somebody defend that. Like you know I got Paul Pierce, but saying Paul George just did nothing is actually false. I mean, he did get hurt the year, but then the year when Kawhi tore his ACL against Utah, you got to remember Paul George finished that out and took them there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do it, they didn't win, but it's not Paul George did a lot. You know, when he wasn't hurt on the Clippers team, bro.
Yeah, what did Paul Pierce?
That's really unfair. In fact, if Paul George doesn't hyperextend his knee, was that 2023? Yeah, 23 when he hyperextended his knee, and then Kawhi got hurt. But if Paul George is there, I think they win that series, bro. Paul George. Why
are you making that face when Paul Pierce didn't do anything outside of Kevin Garnett? Like never.
Right,
did
I'm
asking the same question.
I'm gonna answer your question, Swiper.
Yeah.
If Paul Pierce wouldn't have won with Kevin Garnett, I would be having these same type discussions about him. But he did.
It's situational based on the who you played with.
No, it's situational based on what you did when you had talented rosters.
But Paul George, 18. And Paul George,
he got a Finals MVP, and he got it. But before he averaged that 18, okay, and that's cool. It's some teams where Paul George wasn't the best. It's some teams where Paul George wasn't the best on his team either.
No, but you're doing level of play, and then you just said Finals MVP, but you know Kevin Garnett was the best player on that roster.
Okay, we all know that. I'm not. That has nothing to do with the situation. That's the point I'm making.
Sure, right. Okay, that's fair. He just said he agrees with that. He said we all know that, so he agrees.
I think Kevin, but that's not a slight to Paul Pierce.
So you're
Paul
saying
Paul George would have been the second best player on that team too.
So Ron, you're saying you would have questioned, just to sum up your argument, you would have questioned Paul Pierce had he not teamed up with Rondo and Ray Allen and Garnett.
No, they teamed up with him. But to get the record straight, they teamed up with him.
They went to Boston. They did get traded. They did get traded to Boston, and then Rajon Rondo obviously was there. So I'm saying that you're saying that had he not had that roster,
yes, I would feel the same way about him, the same way I feel about Paul George, James Harden, Chris Paul. It's not situational. When you have bomb squads and you don't win year after year after year, I have a right to feel a certain way about you. And Paul George is one of those guys. Yo, from 2018 when he was the guy that you said, or 2019, from 2019, the way you guys speak of Paul George up until even last year playing in Philly, I can feel the type of way about Paul George because you've had multiple All-Stars with you. You've had good teams. You've had good rosters, whether it was through incompetent play, whether it was through injuries, whether it was through giving up 3-1 leads, whatever the case may be. If you didn't get the job done, I'm going to criticize you the same way I criticize Paul George or Chris Paul, James Harden, and anybody else in that tier. You guys all know what I'm talking about.
You're openly admitting though that like the context of the team around you is what influenced you most about how
he had a good team around him.
And I'm saying in 2019-20, what happened was they went to the bubble. There was a lot of stuff that happened. They were up 3-1.
And he was talking about he want to be at home with his boo bear. These are words that came out of his mouth. I would rather be home with my boo bear than getting buckets.
I haven't talked a lot this episode for a read. I'm letting y'all yap. I'm just finishing the context.
No, you started off the show yapping.
In 2019-20, Kawhi also folded down the stretch of those series. And again, I'm saying he was the second best player on the team. So yeah, had his best player played better maybe in Game 7 and Game 6, maybe the story.
No, you like that. I just heard he's the number one option. You take over and be the best player then. I just heard he's the number one option, right? No, I just heard real talking. Dion just said that.
But he's not the number one option on that team, though. I don't even understand.
So in the finals for the Celtics, who took over? In the finals for the Celtics, who took over?
Rajon Rondo. How about that?
Oh my God, Swiper, come on, bro.
How about that?
You see,
if we want to go there, Rajon Rondo.
Swiper's a Boston hater. He's a
Paul got that from the chat. There's no hate.
I didn't get that from the chat. I've been up here with you for over
why would I hate Boston? I don't understand why I would hate Boston.
I know who you are, just like the chat knows who you are. I didn't get shit from the chat.
Why do I need to hate Boston? What do I need to hate Boston for?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I just gave Rajon Rondo and Kevin Garnett credit, and I hate Boston.
I don't know what trauma and PTSD you got against Boston. I'm not sure.
I just hyped up Kevin Garnett.
Okay, that's fine. What I want to know is. Let's just I don't even care. Let's just talk about these two players. Let's talk about peak Paul Pierce against peak Paul George. If that's the matchup, which we never got to see, if that's the matchup, I just think Paul Pierce torches him. I think Paul
How
Pierce
do you
torches
think that
Paul
when you
because I watched both of them play, and I just think that Paul George he's not aggressive enough for Paul Pierce.
So
he's not physical enough for Paul Pierce. Nothing.
If they're guarding each other, you're telling me that Paul Pierce is getting more busy than Paul George.
Yes, I do.
If they're guarding each other.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, Paul Pierce was never an elite defender, but he definitely competed. He definitely competed on defense, especially against big matchups like Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James. Paul Pierce absolutely competed against those guys and took that matchup many a time. So we're not going to just act like he just didn't. And he was a negative on defense because that's just the narrative that we can't allow to go. I didn't say you did. But I'm just making sure that I put that out there. On top of that, I just don't think Paul George is physical enough, strong enough to guard Paul Pierce. I don't see that. I think Paul Pierce is way too aggressive, and he's just torturing Paul George. That's just what I get from when I look at these two play. When I look at Paul Pierce's style of play on offense, I look at Paul George's style of play, and I think Paul Pierce edges him out. That's not me saying I think Paul George is weak. That's just me saying how good I think Paul Pierce was. It's not a knock to get cooked by Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? It's not a knock.
I'm not saying it's a knock. I'm not saying this at all. But I don't understand how. I really don't get the argument of Paul Pierce being a better basketball player than Paul George. But I guess we'll just.
I'm telling you, this whole thing is theoretical. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's explosive and can jump out the rim. He's not.
Oh, you're talking about Paul George.
I'm talking about Paul George. He's 6'8", 6'9", can jump out the gym. I know he lost some of his athleticism as he got older, but can jump out the gym. He can handle the ball. He can shoot from three. His game is just visually appealing. This is why guys like Brandon Miller said that Paul George is the GOAT. And I'm saying, like, it looks good, but how effective was it really? How effective was it really?
Teams were in the
really good player.
Swiper. Like Swiper, you know what? I'm gonna break it down to football for you, Swiper. He's tall. Hey, shout out Bama.
6 in the conference finals, y'all. Like this idea that he didn't do anything.
29, 11, and 6.
Yes,
I never said he didn't do anything.
Okay, if you want to do that, I'll go through a nitpick series too. We don't want to do that because it can get disgusting.
You said he never did anything. I brought up the series in which he played his highest level of basketball in the conference finals.
Stop! You're being nasty right now. You're being semantical right now.
You literally just said he never did anything.
He's had good series. Obviously, like we don't
lie about somebody, and then I bring up a series they played in the conference finals, and then averaged 29, 11, and 6, and you say, "Oh, just kidding."
All right, so you know what? Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to all his bad series, and then I want
we already know he had bad series. You said he didn't do anything.
All right, then.
You said he didn't do anything.
We know he had good series too. Like, come on, like,
said he
no,
didn't do
Swiper,
anything.
this is
So wait,
obvious.
you get to say whatever you want, and nobody puts it back.
That's
right?
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
Never,
saying. We all know. We all know he's
right.
had good series. He's had good games. He's had good stretches. Paul George is
said he
very
didn't do
good.
anything.
Swiper, stop. We all know Paul George is a very. He's a very. No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me set the record straight. Paul George is a very good basketball player. He's very good. I just don't think he's at the level that you guys put him in. I don't think he shouldn't have been on the top 25 players of the century.
What level do you think that we
That's crazy.
So Brandon Miller, once again, he came out and said what he said about Paul George.
Us. Obviously, we don't think.
Okay, no, I'm starting up here where the bar's up here with all these young players saying that Paul George is the GOAT, this, that, and the third. I'm dispelling that narrative first. Second off, Paul George he's not up there with the superstars. He's not up there with the tier 1 players like that.
You know who else? You know who else? Everybody in the league when he was playing also thought that about Paul Pierce. Yeah, really good player. He's not Kobe. He's not Matt.
And I can agree with that.
When he was going, he's not Shaq. He's not Duncan. He's not like.
I can agree with that. But he's still better than Paul George. And he's still put together a better career than Paul George. He still was more consistent than Paul George.
How did he put together a better career when Paul George has more All-NBAs, more All-Defense teams, more like what? When you say put together a better career, why? Because he won a championship?
No.
You said Paul Pierce. You said Paul George had more NBAs too.
Yeah, but the all NBA stuff is like, come on.
That's why. What do you mean? Come on. All NBAs like it holds most weight. Any other
this
thing.
is why this is nasty. At my position throughout the 2000s, he wasn't making it over those guys. He just wasn't.
2000s. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just was
Paul George was competing with Pete, Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Kawhi at his position for all the
that's 3 of the top 4 small forwards of all time.
But okay, now tell the whole tale with Kawhi. Missing seasons, injuries.
He was still making all the NBA. What are you saying?
Wait, what did he make 2018-19? Real talk. What was Paul George All NBA? What team did he make?
First team.
He was first for sure.
What was Kawhi Leonard that same season? 60 games played.
Second team.
Yeah, PG nasty, bro. PG nasty, bro. He is. I seen it. I remember.
What?
Does Paul Pierce have a first team All-NBA?
No, he wasn't gonna get one in the 2000s.
No, he doesn't.
he wasn't gonna get one in the 2000s.
Name the comp, Brian.
What do you mean name the comp? The dude who you just said was better than Kobe. That's the comp.
Well, Brian, okay, and then who else?
Brian, you got Carmelo Anthony.
Never made first team either.
He doesn't have to make first team. You still had him.
Well, who else made first
team
in the league that year?
From 2000, because Paul George was a forward, so the forwards from
Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett,
Malone,
Dirk Nowitzki,
Grant Hill, Vince Carter, Duncan, Malone, Carter, Duncan, Webber, Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Ben Wallace, Webber, McGrady, Duncan again, Garnett, Jermaine O'Neal, Mashburn, Dirk Nowitzki, Duncan,
my dog Jamal Mashburn,
Webber, Paul Pierce made the all-pro team. So again, Dirk Nowitzki, Pager, Kevin Garnett, Duncan again, Jermaine O'Neal, Meta. Then we got Sean Marion, Garnett, Duncan, Dirk, James, Tracy McGrady, Sean Marion again, Duncan, Dirk, James, Elton Brand, Carmelo Anthony. Then we got Carmelo Anthony again, Chris Bosh.
What year you in now, Chill?
I'm in 06, 07. That's where I'm at.
He's not making it over Sean Marion.
Yo, don't do that. Hey, Sean Marion, my team was finishing.
No, stop. No, go to the list.
Because first off, you about to start. You're about to start hating on Sean Marion. You're about to start hating Sean Marion. You don't know who Sean Marion is. I averaged 20 and 10. I averaged 20 and 10. No, I averaged 20. No, you're about to start hating on Sean Marion. I'm a top 5 defender in the NBA. I'm a top 5 defender. He doesn't. Why does him averaging 25 have to do with anything? I'm a top 5 defender in the NBA. I average 20 points, 10 rebounds, and my team is top 3 in the conference. Come on. What?
But all the things you just named, though, bro. All the things you just named, though, bro. You're not giving credit for Paul George. you just up Sean Marion for the same things we're trying to tell you that Paul George was doing, and you're not giving credit to him.
Exactly.
Paul George was never averaging 20 and 10. He was never averaging 20 and 10.
I mean, he had 7.
Oh,
he
now
23 and 7.
I said what Sean Marion said, and you. No, I averaged
20 and 10.
Paul
George averaged 23 and 7.
I'm not comparing Sean Marion. I'm not comparing Sean Marion to Paul George. I never did that. You guys, you asked me what Sean Marion did. I said he averaged 20, 10 and was a top 5 defender.
He was not a top 5 defender at that time. No, he wasn't.
Yo, chill. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
Okay. He wasn't better than Ben Wallace. He wasn't better than Bruce Bowen. He wasn't better than Garnett.
He was better than Bruce Bowen. He was better than Bruce Bowen.
He wasn't better than Duncan. He wasn't better than Meta. He wasn't better than Marcus Camby. He wasn't better than Andrew Kalinko. He wasn't better than Jason Kidd. I can keep going, Ron. He wasn't a top
Sean Marion in 2006 was probably the most versatile defender in the league. You could say AK-47. You could say AK-47. Outside of that, you can't name me somebody that could have guarded 1 through 5 like Sean Marion could.
What year? What year is this?
04, 05, 06, 07, 08. Throughout any. Oh my God.
When it
All
gets
right,
to 06,
y'all.
it's Bron,
Man, let's
bro.
get back to the list.
Bron better defender than Sean Marion. Absolutely. After 06, yeah, of course.
All right. Y'all got it.